What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. In today's video, we're going to go over the 7 rules for reselling to make a full-time income. I consider a full-time income $1,000 per week profit or more, or $4,300 per month. So let's get into the content. These are the 7 rules on the right side here. Let me know in the comment section below if any of these 7 you're struggling with. I'd like to get an idea of what people need help with. So before we get into the content, I want to share that the eBay app has a new tool. You can go in there and look up somebody's store and see how many items they've sold. This is very interesting. I've had this account for 2.5 years, and I've sold 49,000 items on the Daily Refinement store, which is about 2,000 items per month roughly. And this year I'm actually up double from last year essentially. So I've been growing pretty quickly since I really put these 7 steps into practice. So let's go over them right now. And again, you can find this calculator inside our Patreon mentorship. The $34.99 level, you get all these different tools, including this calculator. So number 1, you have to be able to find a $10 profit item. Now what that means is you find an item, you sell it for, let's say, $30, you bought the item for 10, shipping fees, all that ends up being $10 profit. You need to understand the numbers, and you need to know how to actually find these types of items. This is going to take some time. Most people can find $10 profit items once in a while, but to be able to do it regularly or to be able to do it routinely, that takes time. But that's basic rule number 1. Number 2 would be you have to be able to process an item in 10 minutes or less. And I put together a calculator here to help you, and I would consider this super snail pace. So half a minute to find the item. So you should have an inventory system where you know where your items are. You should be able to walk directly to it. Shipping, this is 3 minutes I put in here, which is extraordinarily long. It takes me only 30 seconds to do a shipment. That's putting it into the package. It takes 21 seconds for the label to print on eBay. So even if you are making a custom box or a Franken box of something really bulky, hopefully you average 3 minutes or less for packing an item, or pick, pack, and shipping an item. Photography, I think 3 minutes is very high, but this is focused photography. You're only taking 4 to 12 pictures per item. Assuming you have a clear workspace, you should be able to do photography in 3 minutes. Listing for 3 minutes, and then customer service for half a minute. And it's not normally that high. I would say I only do 5 or 10 minutes of customer service a day. It doesn't take that long. So the part that people get caught up with is definitely research and definitely second guessing their item specifics and second guessing the title. Second guessing things can take an hour per listing. So that's really where people get into a time suck. So maybe number 2 is what slows people down, not being able to process an item in 10 minutes, which is only 6 per hour. So you should be able to process 6 per hour, especially if you're a full-time reseller. Otherwise, you really need to improve your processes to make that easier. Number 3, you need a scheduled 10 hours a week to process your items. So 10 hours a week of listing, photos, shipping. That's very reasonable. I feel like that's less than people watch TV per week. 10 hours a week needs to be scheduled. If it's not scheduled, you won't regularly do it. And if you don't regularly do it, you won't regularly make $1,000 a week profit. So you have to have it on your schedule. For me, everything is scheduled just to make it easier. Number 4, you have to be able to find 100 items in 30 hours sourcing. So you have to be able to find 3 items per hour. As you're going out there on the hunt, whether it's online, maybe doing online arbitrage, maybe you're going in person, you should be able to find at least 3 items an hour that are $10 profit. If not, you need to improve your sourcing strategies. So in this model, you're spending 75% of the time treasure hunting because people like that. So if you want to spend 75% of your time looking for cool stuff, this is the model for you. Number 5, you have to be able to afford enough inventory. I think a lot of people don't talk about this on eBay, or on YouTube rather. I want to be realistic with you guys. You do need some money because you need to have a store that's big enough to get regular sales. I would say between 1,500 and 2,000 items, you're probably going to comfortably make a $1,000 per week income, provided your items sell in 3 months or less. If your items don't sell quickly, it doesn't matter how big your store is, you'll never make a full-time income. You have to know how to sell items in a reasonable time frame, and I consider that a year. So a year is basically you going through the whole calendar year to eliminate seasonality And hopefully you get lucky, and sometimes you list items that are in season. Like you list some Christmas stuff in December, you list some Easter stuff in the spring. Like hopefully once in a while you list something that's on trend, but you have to be able to afford the inventory. I would say you probably need at least $5,000 or $6,000 to really make a full-time income. You don't need $5,000 or $6,000. You could start with zero, like I did when I did this experiment in the Reseller Nirvana store, starting from zero. I started at zero, but it's easier if you have a little bit of money. I would say 5 to 6 grand over the course of time invested will help you grow an inventory that has 40,000 ish listed. Sell a third of that each month, a third of that's profit. There you go. There's your $1,000 per week income. So that slows down people for sure. I understand if you have a full-time job and you have a family to take care of, maybe you can't afford to buy enough inventory. So it might take you 6 months longer, but that's still not that long to be able to reach your goal. Number 6, you have to have a consistent listing habit. Easier said than done, but you can't miss more than 2 days in a row. In my opinion, you can miss a day anytime because your life happens, but just don't miss 2 days in a row. I haven't missed 2 days in a row in 2 years now. So just set it up so that you don't miss your habit more than once in a row. You'll be good. Number 7, this one is huge. You have to understand clearly why an item does or doesn't sell. If you're still wondering why are my sales slow, you will never make a full-time living reselling on eBay. You should know exactly why your items don't sell. It's either because there's not enough people looking for that specific item. Maybe that item is priced too high. Maybe the listing is not very good. You should know why. All of the things on eBay have already been invented. There's no secrets. There's no hacks. It's just about listing the right items consistently. That's it. So let me know in the comment section below which of these 7 things you need help with. And I just want to go over 3 more terms with you guys before we leave today. Number 1, Reseller Nirvana is where you list and sell the same number of items per day. So in this scenario, it's 15 a day, 7 days a week. So you list and sell 15 items a day. I would call that Reseller Nirvana. It's where your store stays the same size. You get enough money to pay for your new inventory, and you can take money out to pay yourself. Number 2, Reseller FU. I call this not having to work for somebody else anymore. I have been here for a long time, so I can choose, as long as my eBay store is open and I'm not suspended, then I can make more selling on eBay than I would at a normal job. So I don't have to work a normal job ever again because I understand eBay to the level where it can support me. So Reseller FU is mainly mental and having a little bit of cash saved in case of an emergency, because there is going to be days when sales are slow and you can't on those days discount your really good items because you need that profit in the future. I see a lot of resellers making the mistake of when bills get tight, they sell their really good items for too cheap just to get money into the system, and that can hurt you long run. You gotta let those really good profit items sell for really good profit. You have to wait. Then reseller critical mass is the 3rd term I want to bring up, which is you have enough money to buy the items you need to grow, but maybe you don't make enough money to take money out yet. So at this point, the bleeding stops. You're not spending any more of your money into it. And to be honest, you can start reseller critical mass from day 1 with no money, meaning you only invest into the business the money that you got from selling stuff around your house for free. And you just keep snowballing that money over and over again. And if you were to do that, because the money in reselling compounds so quickly, you can start with no money and have $100,000 in savings in less than 5 years. This is my opinion. I think as long as you don't take the money out and just leave it in the system, even if you're doing it part-time, it'll be $100K in 3 years, 5 years, because money multiplies really quickly when you're reselling, because you can look up the sold before you actually buy the item. So I would say money doesn't buy happiness, but if you have $100,000 in savings, you can afford a little bit of a health scare. You can pay for some minor health things, and you can have a little bit of a cushion in case you need to leave work or in case you need to change categories. You can hang out for a little bit. So that's sort of the goal I have for everyone listening to this channel. I'd love for you guys to get to $100,000 savings. If you're already there, great. Let's keep going to the next level, $1 million in savings. Let me know which of these 7 rules you're struggling with. I appreciate you guys. Join the Reseller Patreon group. It's over 1,800 people now. The Facebook group is really epic. People are sharing what they're working on. And go to this calculator, figure out where your bottleneck is. What is it that's taking you so long? So it's not just about being consistent, as in like you don't have self-discipline or you're beating yourself up because you didn't meet your listing goal. Most likely you're not organized enough. So if you're not organized enough, you don't know what to do next, and you're wasting a lot of time. So you need to define what you're doing all day. Talk about your schedule, talk about your listing goal, and I promise you guys, you will reach your goal, but you have to accomplish all 7 of these rules or you will not be able to do it. No one accidentally makes $1,000 a week reselling. You have to have a plan. So I appreciate you guys. See you next time.